Can I be vulnerable for a minute? Do you like that new intro? Yeah, thanks, I made it myself. Hello and welcome back. My name is Cody the Writer, and today I think we all need a little bit of a pep talk. What do you say? All right, so we are officially halfway through the year of 2024, which is kind of wild, kind of crazy. It is already July, and what's even crazier is July's almost over. Screams internally. With us being halfway through 2024, my YouTube For You page has been covered with people talking about how they're doing on their goals so far, checking in on said goals that they set at the beginning of the year, setting new goals for the second half of 2024. I want to just take a moment and talk to all of you who have maybe just been going through a really busy time in your life. You're trying to balance work, you're trying to balance kids if you have kids, you're trying to balance social life, you're trying to balance spending time with your partner, you're trying to take care of yourself, all while working on this passion project that you have added on to that endless list of things to do. So today I want to just take some time and really encourage you all, because I know this past week for me was just one of those things where I had no motivation to write. I had no motivation to record a video. I had no motivation to really do anything productive, and it was just one of those weeks. And unfortunately, life doesn't slow down for anything or anyone, so you just have to persist and do the best you can to make it through. As I was sitting in my non-motivated stupor, the thing that pulled me out of it was really reflecting on how far I have come in this process. So I wanted to create a comprehensive list of some of the things that maybe can help pull you out of a funk if you are currently experiencing anything like that. Also, you might be wondering, wow, Cody, no glasses today? Funnily enough, this is my second time to sit down and record this video. I know. I was already going through a tough time feeling motivated to even record a video. And of course, when I record the video, my camera decides, I don't know about this. And it won't let me put it on my iPad. It won't let me put it on my computer. I can watch the video on the little screen that I have up above the lens, but for whatever reason, whenever I try to plug it into the computer, it says that there is no data on the file. I don't know. I did a bunch of troubleshooting. I Googled the issue, couldn't resolve it. So here we are recording it a second time. It's nighttime now. I recorded it originally when the sun was up and I had natural lighting. But right now it is currently 9:05 p.m. at night and I have no natural lighting, so we're using the ring light. Do I look all beautiful and glowy? Don't answer that. I persevered. I did not give up. I pulled up my bootstraps and I'm ready to go. So if you're excited for today's video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up down below. It really helps out the channel a lot, and it also helps more people see this video that may be feeling some of these feelings that I was feeling. How many times did I just say the word feeling in a sentence? They might be going through some of the same things that I was going through this past week, and maybe this can hopefully motivate you or inspire you or just kind of give you a lift in this time when you're feeling sad. Also, if you like videos like this and you want to see me go on this journey of working on my book, I am currently redrafting my debut mystery thriller, and I am currently about 1/3 of the way through that redraft. So if you want to follow that journey, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. You won't regret it, I guarantee you. Also, in this video, I'm only going to be sharing 10 reminders that I could just kind of come up with in my brain. I'm sure if I sat down long enough, I could have a list like 50 points long, but that would mean this video would be like 3 hours plus, and nobody's gonna want that. I don't know, maybe you do. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Reminder number 1 is that you already are a writer. I don't care if you sat down today and only wrote 50 words towards this story that you want to tell. If you write, then you are a writer. There are no qualifications that you have to call yourself a writer. You don't have to have a writing degree. You didn't have to major in English. Yes, those things are helpful tools, can help hone your craft, but they're not a requirement for you to call yourself a writer. Has your dream always been to be a writer? If you're watching this video and you're currently writing something, a short story, a poem, a script, a paper, a book, I don't know, you can call yourself a writer. And I want you to pause this video right now and say with your whole chest, I am a writer. Did you do it? Okay. Reminder number 2 is that goals and deadlines are flexible. If you are someone who is traditionally published, or you have an agent and you're on a deadline, I'm not talking to you, because those deadlines and goals are typically not flexible. I'm talking to the people that are like me, who are currently not represented by anybody. I'm deciding to self-publish personally. There are pros and cons to both. That's just what I feel is best for me at this point in my life. And right now, I don't have any outside voices or deadlines or anything like that. Any goal or deadline that I set for myself, I can change it because I know the boss. And that guy is pretty chill. So if you are in the same boat, and especially in months like this where you see all these people doing writing challenges and setting these big goals for themselves, sometimes it can feel discouraging because you feel like you're not making the same amount of progress. Any progress is good progress. So be nice to yourself, okay? For example, one of my good friends that I have met through YouTube, her name is Becca Tobar. You've probably seen her somewhere on my channel. If you haven't, are you sleeping under a rock? We were chatting on Zoom one day and her original goal was to hit 70,000 words in July. Once we got about halfway through the month, she stopped. She reevaluated and realized that it would actually be better for her mental health, her sanity, her life in general, if she would reduce that down to just doing 50,000 words instead of 70,000 words. And the best part about that is the only person that she had to run that by was herself. So if you feel like you're falling behind on these goals and these deadlines that you have set for yourself with whatever you're working on, just adjust and adapt. That's really what this game is all about. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be mean to yourself, because as long as you're making progress, again, that's progress. Be nice to yourself, reevaluate your goals, and keep on pushing forward. Reminder number 3 is that rest is just as productive as writing. Now, I did a whole entire vlog on this where I rested like a writer, and I feel like just with the culture of today and you seeing all these people just like busting their tail to like get out there and do all these things, culture that we live in is like, if you're not go, 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 then you're basically wasting time, you're wasting your life. That is not the case. You are a human. You only have so much that you can handle in one day in your brain, your body, whatever it may be. You have to know your limits and know when it is time for you to step away for a little bit, take a break, and then come back to it. So find something that you like, that you enjoy, that allows you to refill that well. I know like whenever I posted that vlog, my creative well was like -10. I had to just stop, and I literally did not touch my book for a full week. And I allowed myself to read, play video games, catch up on reality TV, and do all the things that spark joy in my brain to refill that well. And after that week was over, I was so ready, I was so antsy to just to jump back into the world that I have built in this story that it really helped my motivation. And actually, I probably made more progress by allowing myself to rest than I would have if I had just pushed through and forced something that I was just gonna have to delete later. Reminder number 4 is that it is not selfish to be stingy with your free time. Now, like I was saying earlier, there are a lot of obligations that happen. There are pool parties, there's 4th of July parties if you live in America. That's usually the time where people go and visit families. They go on like vacations, on trips, and all these things that occupy some of that free time. And so sometimes, and I have found myself doing this recently, sometimes you just have to learn how to say no. Something that I have definitely learned in my late 20s is that no is a full sentence. This kind of blew my mind whenever someone told me this. If someone asks you to do something and you say yes, no one ever asks you why you said yes. So often we find it that whenever we say no, we feel like we have to explain why we said no. And I have really learned to kind of silence that mentality, because if I say no, I don't have to give you a reason. It's just a no. It's nothing personal. You're not being mean. You have priorities. You have goals. You might want to just be a hobbit by yourself at your house and read books for 6 hours because you've been around people all week long. And that is okay. You are allowed to say no to things that don't align with your goals, your priorities in life, not just in writing. So learn how to end that sentence after just saying no. And you'll find that it is actually very liberating. Reminder number 5 is to remember why you started writing this book. One of the main reasons that I started this YouTube channel was so that I had a video diary to look back on all the highs and lows of writing a book and documenting all of the times when things were going really well and times when things were not going well at all. I see this video where Cody was having a rough time writing. He was struggling with writer's block, but then you see that next vlog and everything is perfectly fine. It kind of puts everything into perspective, and you realize that what I'm feeling right now will not last forever. Whatever you want to do, whether you want to keep a journal or if you want to post videos on YouTube, you don't even have to make them public. You can make them private and just have it there as your own personal backlog of your journey through this time in your life where you are devoting hours and hours into this project that you want to become something someday. Especially in those moments whenever you're like in the thick of it, you're in the thick of revisions and you are just telling yourself, why did I decide to do this? Just connect with that past version of yourself. What was it about this story that made you feel like you had to tell it at this time? And usually, at least for me, that has helped me kind of recenter, ground myself, and puts me back in the place where I can continue to make progress in this story. The sixth thing that I want you to remind yourself of is that you are not alone. Hello, if you're watching this video, my name is Cody. I'm gonna be your emotional support human. I will get you through this. Whatever you need, I got your back. Writing can feel like such a solitary process because, I mean, it really is a solitary process. No one else can write the book for you. I mean, I guess they could if you paid them to, but that's a whole other thing. But at the end of the day, whether or not this book gets completed is 100% based on if you're willing to spend the time doing it. And that time spent doing this is so much more enjoyable whenever you have friends and other writers that you can connect with that are going through the same thing. Everyone experiences writer's block. Everyone gets mentally exhausted. Everyone has moments in their life where they are so busy and they just absolutely cannot devote any time to writing. It is a universal human experience. You are not alone. Please always remember that. If you ever feel like you are alone, leave me a comment down below and I will hype you up. Do you hear me? Hype you up. The seventh thing that I want to remind you is that first drafts, they're supposed to suck. Now, I know that's not what you want to hear. You don't want to hear that anything that you are spending so much time and effort on is going to be not great. The fact of the matter is, and maybe this is some tough love, this is some hard truths, I don't know. It's something that I had to learn whenever I was writing my first draft. And I believe Alyssa in the book said this. In one of her vlogs, she said, allow yourself to write a crappy book because you can make it a great book whenever you're doing editing and revision and all of that stuff. And that is 100% true. There are a lot of things that I am changing. There are a lot of things that I am adding, taking away, moving around. And I know that this version of this book that I am writing currently is going to be much better than that first draft that I wrote way back when I started it in October. And that's just part of it. The more you do something, the better you get at it. So if you're like me and you are currently working on your first book, that first draft is going to be garbage. And that is okay. My first draft was also garbage. Really, the first draft is there for you to just word vomit and tell yourself the story. And that way, once you have the whole story out of your brain and onto paper, you can take a bird's eye view and really start to hone in on the details and fine-tuning those things that might not have been very well fleshed out in the first go of you writing the story. Let yourself put a bracket on there and say, the house was busted. And then come back in editing and actually describe what busted looks like to you. The eighth thing that I want to remind you all of is that, hey, writing is hard. Nobody said it was easy. Did you like that? But in all seriousness, writing a book is mentally challenging. It is difficult. You are literally creating a world. You are creating characters. You are creating a whole plot with beats and scenes and dialogue, and you're giving these characters voices. And you are doing so much whenever you sit down to write. You are not just sitting and typing on a keyboard. Your brain is probably going 3,000 miles a minute and thinking about the 5 scenes ahead and how you're going to get there while also trying to finish this scene because it's just not happening for you. It's hard. So really take the time to celebrate the fact that you are doing something that a majority of people don't even start doing. No matter where you are in your writing process, always make sure to give yourself a little pat on the back. Okay? The ninth thing that I want to remind you of is to please, come a little closer, please don't compare yourself to other writers. We are all different. We all think differently. We all look differently. Unless you're an identical twin, then you might not look different, but that's okay. We all talk differently. We all have different experiences and backgrounds and religions and cultures and ethnicities and so many things. Every human is different. So why wouldn't every writer be different? A good writing day for you might be 500 words. As to a good writing day to someone else might be 3,000 words. You can't base your goals and your success by comparing yourself to what other people are doing. That is the fastest way to demotivate yourself, put yourself in the mindset where you just want to throw your hands up and quit. Yes, you can talk to other writers about their goals, and if their goals are different than yours, that's great. Encourage them to hit their goals, and they'll encourage you to hit yours, whatever those look like. It's difficult to see people on YouTube that are doing the same thing as you, and it just seems like their progress is going faster than yours. Everyone's journey is different. You might be writing your first draft right now, but one day you're going to blink and next thing you know, you're celebrating the release of your 5th book. It's all going to go by so fast. So just enjoy the journey. Enjoy the times where you have rapid progress and growth, and enjoy the times where you might not have as much progress and growth. It's all a part of the journey. It's all a part of the experience of writing a book. Embrace it, give it a hug, accept it. It's okay. The only person that you should be comparing yourself to is the version of you from yesterday. Like if I wanted to challenge yesterday Cody and say, oh, Cody, yesterday you wrote 700 words. Today I'm going to beat that and I'm going to write 800 words. That's all you need to do. As long as you are competing with yourself and you are improving and growing each day, the rest of it, what everyone else is doing, doesn't matter. You can still congratulate them and you can still wish them all the best in their journey, but don't let their progress hinder your progress. Okay? And the 10th and final thing that I want to remind you as you go through this process is to celebrate all victories, no matter how big or small. As I am in the weeds of trying to edit this novel and revise it and redraft it, sometimes I can lose sight of the purpose of everything. Take the time to reflect on how far you've come. If you're currently writing your first book and you're 10,000 words in, celebrate that. 10,000 words is a lot of words. And if you've never done it before, then you can say you have done something that past you has never done. And so you should celebrate that. If you finally finish that first draft after typing and plucking away at it for 5 years, celebrate that. That is a huge win. And you're allowed to take the time to celebrate yourself and be proud of yourself, no matter what stage of this writing process you're in. Always remember how far you've come and be grateful for all of the things that you have learned along the way. That's the whole reason I started this channel, is because I wanted to be able to see all those moments, high and low, all the victories, big and small, where I was able to write, edit, revise, publish this book. And hopefully I will continue to do so for many more books to come. That's all I have for you guys today. If you liked the video, again, please make sure to give it a thumbs up down below. It really helps out the channel and it makes me just smile. Do you want to make me smile? Leave me a comment down below and let me know any mantras that you tell yourself to kind of pull yourself out of a funk. What do you do in order to reinvigorate the spirit of the story that you started, or to remotivate yourself to start writing again? I want this comment section to just be full of people hyping everybody up and celebrating each other's wins and learning from each other, because we are all going through this same experience together and we are all going to reach our goals one way or another. Thank you for letting me be your therapist for however long this video is, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!